Hello and welcome to this video brought to you by Smart EduHub Mumbai. In today's video, I shall explain to you the concept of reversible reactions. Now, to making you understand that concept of reversible reactions, I have taken the example of hydrated copper sulfate. Now, imagine that there is a boiling tube or a test tube and that contains hydrated copper sulfate. As you can see, the color of hydrated copper sulfate is blue in color, and the formula of hydrated copper sulfate is CuSO4.5H2O. The presence of water indicates that the copper sulfate is hydrated one and it is blue in color. Now I am going to heat this hydrated copper sulfate to see if there are color changes visible. So this is a flame of a burner, and now on this flame I am going to place the boiling tube which contained hydrated copper sulfate with the formula CuSO4.5H2O, and as the heating progresses you will find that the blue color changes into white. Also the chemical composition changes, meaning it loses water and it now becomes white colored copper sulfate, and this is now said to be anhydrous copper sulfate. Anhydrous means without water. So let me write a chemical reaction for what we observed just now. We found that when hydrated copper sulfate, so CuSO4.5H2O, is heated, it changes into CuSO4 plus 5H2O. That means from being hydrated it has changed into being anhydrous. So this is the reaction that is taking place. Now, is it possible for us to change the anhydrous form to the hydrated form? Well, before we do that, let us also make a mention of the colors of the different forms. So what was the color of the hydrated copper sulfate? It was blue in color. So I can write it down as the color changes from blue to white, okay, when it gets changed from hydrated to anhydrous form. Now what I'm trying to understand is it possible for us to convert the white color anhydrous copper sulfate back to blue colored hydrated copper sulfate? So let us see. Well, yes, I have picked up images from the internet because I do not have a lab with me as of now. But images show that when you add water, now this is anhydrous copper sulfate. What is the white color powder? It is anhydrous copper sulfate. So when you add water to anhydrous copper sulfate, it is changing into blue colored hydrated copper sulfate. So yes, a reverse reaction is possible. So that means the reverse reaction is possible. So what we can do is we'll make a small change in the equation that we've already written for the hydrated changing to anhydrous. We will show it by an half arrow, and again we'll show a reverse half arrow indicating that a backward reaction also is possible. So what is happening in this case? Hydrated copper sulfate can change into anhydrous copper sulfate by heating it, and by putting water back we can change the white color anhydrous copper sulfate into the hydrated copper sulfate, which is blue in color. So this is said to be a reversible reaction. So what do you call as a reversible reaction? Reactions which go in either direction are called as reversible reactions. Another example of a reversible reaction is that of cobalt chloride. The formula for cobalt chloride is CoCl2. So now when you have the anhydrous cobalt chloride, which is blue in color, so suppose I write the anhydrous cobalt chloride here, CoCl2, and that is in the solid form, and I'm mentioning again this is the anhydrous cobalt chloride, anhydrous meaning it doesn't have water. To that if I'm adding water, so what happens is this changes into hydrated cobalt chloride with the formula CoCl2.6H2O. So now this is how the reaction happens, and notice again the color changes from being blue to pink. So the hydrated form of cobalt chloride is pink in color. It is also observed that when this hydrated cobalt chloride is heated, from being pink it changes to being blue anhydrous cobalt chloride. So over here, if you observe, this reaction also progresses in both the directions, and therefore we replace this single-sided arrow by two half-sided arrows, one in the forward direction, one in the reverse direction. So there are two examples of reversible reactions. So I'll give you a small trick to remember both the reactions, and these are very essential from the IGCSE and GCSE examination point of view. So here's the trick I'm going to teach you to remember both and with balancing. So you know, the first example I told you was copper sulfate. So copper sulfate is a solid. It is anhydrous, which is white in color, and when you add water to it, so you will add plus 5H2O liquid, and you will get the product as CuSO 4.5H2O, that is blue in color. So the color changes from white to blue, and remember, you're adding 5H2O. Now when you take cobalt chloride, see the changes. COCl2 is new solid, of course. Instead of 5H2O, you're going to add 6H2O this time. Okay? And then the product that you'll get will obviously be COCl2.6H2O. Now it's very interesting to note how the colors also are related. The copper sulfate goes from white to blue, and the cobalt chloride goes from blue to pink. So you stop at blue for copper sulfate, and you begin at blue and you end on pink for cobalt chloride. So this is how you can remember. So the first reaction has 5 water. Here it has got 6H2O, 6 water. So once again, the states of hydrated cobalt chloride is solid, and that of hydrated copper sulfate is also solid. They are crystals. So these are two important reactions as far as reversible reactions are concerned for the IGCSE and the O levels, the GCSEs. So well, that's all in this video on reversible reactions. If you like watching my video, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.